Hello, Gemini. Mercury is direct all month, and it starts off in Leo, and then on the 7th of August moves into Virgo, the Virgin, and then on the 27th moves into Libra, the Scales. But it remains direct the entire month, again starting off for the first week in Leo, the Lion. And also on the 2nd, Mercury is trine Uranus. And currently Mercury is in Leo on that day, on the 2nd, and trine Uranus on that day, on the 2nd, that's retrograde in Aries. So that's a little formula. It's a little Kabbalistic formula. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that, and at the end, in our afterglow, when we do our planetary facets and astrological aspects, we'll put it at the end. Make it a little fun for both you and us. It'll make it more fun. So we'll solve that problem at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. Now let's see how your ruling planet of Mercury affects you this month, Gemini. And past Rosemary, Astrology Angel, thank you for joining us. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from your guardian angel, Raphael, who rules over all the air signs and is the great divine physician. And your specific Gemini angel, Umbriel, who resides over your mutable air nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. First, we're going to get into that all-important love transmission for you. Okay, there's a lot of flirts and a lot of come-ons in August. So that's going to tend to distract you. And you're going to be thinking that, oh, this person likes me, and this person likes me, and this person's interested, and all these people are coming on to me, and all these people like me, and all these people want me, and yada yada, and what should I, and that's going to distract your mind, because, again, your mind is quick and witty, and constantly thinking, and you get bored, okay, easily. So, you're going to tend to want to focus on all of these various giddy people who, are all coming on to you or flirting with you. And you might tend to ignore your more basic relationships that are truly your true, actual, real relationships that you actually care about. Now, these are your nuts and bolts relationships, the relationships not only in family and friendships that are obvious nuts and bolts relationships, but in the area of romance or love, those actual nuts and bolts relationships. People that are truly the people you're committed to. Because the mind wants to ruminate and fantasize about things it really doesn't have or ever really want to have. The mind likes to do that. The mind's happy when it's doing that. But the mind is not happy when it's dealing with things that it's committed to. And you'll notice that when you're finally getting something real in your life, in any facet of your life, be it love or health or money or whatever, business or work, whatever you're doing, or projects, whatever you're doing, when you really get something that you can actually work with, and it's constructive and committed, you don't want it because that's not fun. It's not fun for the mind. The mind wants to fantasize and go into all kinds of directions. Again, wants to think about things. It thinks, oh, I can't have that, but wouldn't it be nice if I could have that? And the minute you can have it, your mind won't want it anymore. It's no longer fun. So just understand that. But in August, you'll have to deal with your nuts and bolt relationships and in love, or you will lose them. Okay? You will. So, of course, that'll make it more interesting. But you know how that goes. So just understand that. And don't see the chore of having to focus and tend to those nuts and bolts committed situations. Don't see that as such a horrible thing. Find the fun in it and make it fun. It's important. On the 14th, the new moon is in Leo. And that allows you and others to say no. Now, the fire signs will have a very easy time saying no on this new moon. It's not all the time, but on this new moon, they'll have an easy time saying no. Where you'll have a less easy time than a fire sign, but you'll have a more easy time saying no than an air or than a water or an air sign. You being an air sign will have an easier time saying no than a water or an earth sign. Because these are elemental associations. So understand that doesn't mean people are weak, and it changes. So on this particular new moon in Leo on the 14th, you might start feeling feisty. Oh, I can say no, but then, watch out. But wait, on the 29th, the full moon is in Pisces, and that makes you more efficient, but it's going to make water signs more efficient than air or fire, and it's going to make earth signs very efficient. So you see, it changes. So if you're people think, they say, oh, well, if I do this, will this person do this? If I call this person and then and those things help, they do help, of course. But generally speaking, these things change. You can't say, okay, if I always act in this way, then it's always going to turn out this way. Of course it isn't. Because things aren't always the same. There's different influences affecting people, be they psychological influences, be they spiritual influences, be they hormonal influences. When the hormones change, people's behavior changes. Duh. Okay? So these things cannot always be the same, but there are certain principles that you can hold on to, but those aren't principles about how to manipulate others. Those are principles by which each individual needs to live. Each individual needs to find their spiritual center and their spiritual laws, be that they believe in science, and that's their religion, or they believe in some religion, or they believe in some political system. Some people, sports are their religion. But whatever it is, hold on to your own religion. But you cannot manipulate other people with your religion, your science, or your religion, or your spirituality. You can only control yourself so others don't control you. And then you're going to have to just trust the divine goodness of the Almighty God, because His right hand is the good events and His left hand is the bad events, and He's trying to get you into the place where He knows you'll be the most happy. And you can call God whatever you want, but it's the will to bestow in everyone according to the Zohar. It's God the good, right? All right. Now we're going to get into Umbriel's money transmission. The first week of August, financial dealings will be clarified for you, Gemini. The second and the third week of August, new job hunts are going to be rewarding, but they're only going to be rewarding if you don't let go of your current jobs too quickly. So it's good time to look into new jobs, new work, new business ventures, but don't let go of what you're already doing too quickly until you firmly establish. And there may be some overlap where you do one thing. And these people who say, don't give up your day job. What if your day job is really cool? People think that they want to have negative things to say to people. And it doesn't really do anything to someone who is centered and has found their own internal Messiah. It doesn't bother them at all. Okay? So, of course people say, here's how bullies behave. If you want to know how bullies are going to behave, especially with money. And they use, the romantic, lonely hearts kind of thing, and then to get your money and that kind of, that's what happens. So, you can say all bullies are cowards, and that's true. But to go beyond that, here's how bullies deal with you. They bully you and they bully you and they bully you. And if you act badly, they take your money, or stop you from doing whatever you're trying to do, or whatever they're trying to take from you. Then, when you stand up to them, they say, "Good for you." Then they play the good guy. And in reality, they are. They are Satan. They are the Black Knight, the good guy. What is that? Batman. That's the role of Satan. That's God's left hand. That's all it is. So the left hand doesn't always, but the right hand doesn't always know what the left hand is doing, and vice versa. However, when one becomes more centered and understands the principles of these things, then it's okay. But at that point, when someone says "good for you," and then they try to take advantage of you or bully you, and then when you stand up, they say "good for you," just say right back at you. Now, does that mean you should become a bully? Becoming a bully isn't really something you decide to do or not do. If someone's being a bully, they're in a bad state of affairs. They're having a hard time. If you're not being a bully, that means you're having an easy time and God's blessing you. If you're being a bully, that means God's cursing you. And God does curse people because in Genesis, He cursed Adam, Eve, and the serpent in the ground. So God curses. That's the biggest witch of all. Cursing, right? Whatever. All right, on the 4th week, you feel more like a part of the business community on the 4th week of August. So you're going to feel better about, you're going to feel better the last part of August. When Mercury is direct in Libra, again, you'll feel more like part of the group. Libra's another air sign. And you'll feel more like part of the business community. You won't feel like that so much during the Virgo transit on the 2nd and the 3rd. You'll be okay being a loner in the first week when it's in Leo. All right, now, health. The first week of August for you, Gemini, you want to work on your 4th chakra. And strengthening for the 4th chakra. Because, again, Mercury's direct. So that's the heart and spine and circulatory system. The 2nd and 3rd week, while Mercury is transiting through Virgo, you want to work on your immune system and strengthen your immune system. You want to work on your nervous system. What you don't want to do is get so frenetic. You don't want to get so anxious and so high-strung that you do this in a maniacal fashion. So, because Virgo is going to be ruling over the eyes and, everything that the nervous system. And it's going to rule over the liver. So, and the gallbladder. So don't eat too many fatty foods during that time. And the immune system is a reflection of the cleansing of the liver. And the liver, Virgo doesn't have stomach problems because that directly is the problem. It's because you're not detoxifying your liver. You need to take milk thistle during that time, and that'll help your immune system, which is, that's dealt with during the first week, which is the thymus gland, which is the source of the 4th chakra. And the pancreas is the source of the 3rd chakra. So just understand that, there's some overlap, all right? There's always some overlap. Now, getting into the last part of the month, you're going to find that you're going to want to cleanse to clarify your skin, and you're going to be on all kind of beauty regimens. Be you male or female, Gemini, you're going to be on trying to beautify yourself and make yourself look better in some fashion. You're going to be using cleansing to do that. Okay, now we're going to get into the afterglow and the planetary aspects and facets, and then we'll give you that little problem at the end and solve it for you. Just do some abdominal breathing this month into the lower abdomen of the 2nd chakra. Do some of that, okay? And you'll feel much better. Okay, Mercury direct in Leo again, first week, and on the 7th to ingress into Virgo, and then into on the 27th, Libra, the scales, and direct. Okay, all month. On the 2nd, Mercury trine Uranus, which is retrograde. On the 4th, Mercury trine Quora. On the 6th, Mercury conjunct Venus, which is retrograde. On the 6th, Mercury square Saturn goes direct on the 2nd. On the 7th, Mercury conjunct Jupiter. The 7th, also Mercury in conjunct Ceres, and 7th again, Mercury, that's that ingress into Virgo. On the 13th, Mercury opposing Neptune, which is retrograde. On the 15th, Mercury trine Pluto, which is retrograde. On the 20th, Mercury in conjunct Uranus, which is retrograde. And Mercury in conjunct Quora on the 22nd. 24th, Mercury trine Ceres. 26th, Mercury sextile Saturn, again, goes retrograde on the 2nd. 27th, Mercury, that's the ingress into Libra. Now we're going to give you that little problem, the formula. Mercury in Leo on the 2nd, and trine Uranus, which is retrograde in Aries on the 2nd. That doesn't mean it goes retrograde on the 2nd, but it happens to be retrograde on the 2nd. Okay? All right. So, what the answer is to this formula is this. Extreme creativity, let's put it like that. Extreme creativity is going to be utilized in political activism. That's what's going to happen. And that's on the 2nd. So, watch how that, how that's going to play out. Okay. Thank you for joining us, Gemini, my past Rosewood Astrology Angel, and join us again next month